about Florida law. Ask an attorney, just give him a call.
This is Ask an Attorney, all about Florida law with Attorney Joe Pippen. If you have a legal question, call Joe right now. In Tampa, call 813-287-5700. Anywhere else, toll free at 877-943-9673. That's 877-943-9673. The law office is open. And now your host, Joe Pippen.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to Ask an Attorney, all about Florida law. I'm Attorney Joe Pippen, practicing attorney. The law office is open. Open early this Saturday morning for you to call in with your legal questions. Or if you have a legal topic or just a problem, I'd love to help you. I'm Attorney Joe Pippen, host of the show, Ask an Attorney, for over 34 years in running, and we still come in every week just to help you understand legal issues, talk about legal issues, answer legal questions. So if you'd like to call the show, love to have you be our first caller at 877-943-9673. That's 877-943-9673. Your question can be about wills, trust, probate, guardianship, power of attorneys, healthcare surrogates, living wills. It can be about family law. It can be about personal injury law. It can be about contract law, landlord-tenant, evictions. It can be just about any area of law. So if you have a problem or a concern, would be more than glad to help you in any way we possibly can. If you, we have an event this Tuesday in Sun City Center, sponsored by our Sun City Center radio station, WSCQ. And if you'd like to attend, it's open to the public. It is at the Chamber of Commerce building at 2 o'clock, and I'll be there. They're having a little meet the host of Ask an Attorney event, and there'll be a question and answer session. I'll talk a little bit. You'll get to meet all the radio station people there at the station. We'll be at the event. There will be some refreshments, and I will be glad to be there. This is my second year in a row that they've hosted this event. Last year we had, 40, 50, 60 people. It's a nice sized crowd, and looking to do the same thing this year. So if you'd like to attend, it's free. It's 2 o'clock at the Chamber of Commerce building. The Chamber of Commerce building is in between the Payette Financial Center, Lake Michigan Credit Union, and the post office. It's right along that strip there. Love to see you come. So we'll talk about it a little bit more during the show, but 2 o'clock on Tuesday. And again, it's hosted by WSCQ, the local community radio station there in Sun City Center. Let's go to our first caller, who's George in Winter Haven. Hey, George.
All right. Hey, I got a question. I got 3 acres here where I live, and there was an accident out in front of my house. The guy left the bar down the road there, and he hit a pickup truck up the road and then come into my property, and he busted down the fence and done considerable damage. And his insurance tells me that they have to take care of the truck first. And this has been, about 3 or 4 months ago. So every time I call and ask about it, they tell me that they have to check with the guy on the pickup, that his has to be repaired first, and there's only like $10,000 that they have to spend on this accident.
How much is your damage?
Mine is about $2,500.
Well, you might need an attorney to write a letter in your behalf, because if you can't get him or the insurance company to pay you, he is responsible.
Uh-huh.
And you might have to go to small claims court. It's under $5,000. You could do that yourself.
Yeah.
It might not be a bad idea to go down to small claims court, get some forms, fill them out.
Yeah.
And name him and the insurance company
Well, you think it would help to have a attorney write a letter to him? Don't you think that might get things
Well, it might. Well, it might, but then you're incurring cost. If you just go file a lawsuit in small claims court, you don't have to pay an attorney to do that, and that usually gets their attention.
Okay.
If you want to pay an attorney to write a couple $100 and see if they can shake the money loose for you, and have to have the hassle of small claims court, that would be your option. Have you talked to your own insurance company about this?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Well, you might mention it to your own insurance company because it sounds like it could be property damage. And it might also apply to your automobile insurance since it was a car and since he doesn't have enough to cover it.
Only thing is I took pictures and I sent them to them, and I don't have any more. I should have kept a copy of them, but anyway, I didn't. So
yeah.
Maybe they'll send them back to me. I don't know. I doubt it, but
you could write him a letter and say that you're going to be, you give him 10 days to pay you. He's damaged your property, and otherwise you're going to file lawsuits against both of them.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you want to have an attorney do that for you, you can do that too. So you got 3 choices there.
You guys are my attorney. I have used you several times in the past. And
well, great.
Doing a good job. So
well, George, thanks. Thank you very much, and thanks for calling.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hey, you're listening to Ask an Attorney all about Florida law. If you have a legal question, I'd love to help you. We're here for 52 minutes, straight run, no commercials. And if there's anything I can do to help you, just give us a call. Been up during the night, worried about something? Hey, talk to someone else about it. And that would be me. And our toll-free number is 877-943-9673. That's 877-943-9673. Hey, if you get the Tampa Bay magazine, the January, February edition, they do 6 editions a year. It's I think probably the best magazine in the Tampa Bay area. They did a full-page profile article about Ask an Attorney as being the longest-running show in Florida, continually. Now, no one has had a show. The article talks about that I started before Rush Limbaugh, which is true, actually. Of course, Rush Limbaugh is quite different. I mean, he does it every day and so forth, and I do my show on weekends. But it has run continually since October of 1984. And no one that I know of and that I've been told of has had a continual show every week, usually multiple stations, with the same host, continual format, same show for that long. So did a nice full-page article. If you can get the magazine, great. If you'd like for me to send you a copy of the article, I would be more than happy to do that. You can I'll do that by email. And you can request it at Joe, Joe, at ATTYPIP.com. All right, let's go to George in Tampa.
Good morning, Joe.
Hey, we've got 2 Georges in a row this morning.
It's your lucky day, right?
Yep.
This is my question. Is it possible and feasible to place a lien against a property that has yet to be settled into an individual's trust for the time in which it is settled?
Well, you'd have to get probably a judgment. And once a judgment is recorded, that itself becomes a lien on the property.
So you would file the lien in your local...
You'd file a court case and get a judgment first.
Okay.
And then the judgment becomes a lien.
Okay. So you would need an attorney. It would be best to use an attorney for the court case to get the judgment?
Yes. Yeah, you'd have to get a judgment in the court case.
Okay. And then that could legitimately be put into a lien even if it's in a different state?
Yeah, there is a way to do that.
Okay.
Once you have a judgment against the person, that judgment can be re-recorded in another state, but you might have to have another legal procedure in that state. But there's a way to do it.
Okay. All right, good. Well, thank you so much for your help this morning.
Right.
I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. If you have a legal question, you can call our toll-free number, no matter where you're listening. You can call 877-943-9673. 877-943-9673. That's 877-943-9673. Phone lines are open. Let's go to Doug in Tampa.
Hi, sir. So I got a question about something that my family's going through in upstate New York. So I don't know if really that you could answer it 100%. But let me just throw the situation out there for you. So,
Okay.
My grandfather's getting ready to pass away, and so he signed over his all the property he's got up in New York to my father. And well, when my grandfather it's already signed over to my dad. So my dad has ownership of the land now, but when my grandfather had ownership of the land, he had an agreement with my uncle, and he allowed my uncle to graze his cattle on the land in a certain spot on the property.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we found out. My brother found out that my cousin, which is my uncle's daughter, was planning on building a house on that property that his cattle were grazing on. And so he told my dad, and then my dad went up there, and because my family's in Virginia, but property's up in New York, so they went up there to go take a look, see what was going on. And when they went up to the property, there was a fence that was locked on the property. So it wasn't something that my dad put up or my grandfather put up. So my uncle put up the fence, and basically my dad, he didn't know legally exactly what to do, so he just took the tractor and tore the fence down and had a conversation with Tom. But I guess my uncle, I guess they were planning on I don't know how it works, but they're saying that they've been on that piece of property for over 20 years with their cattle, and they could just claim it's theirs or something by by being just by having.
All right. Well, there is a field of law called adverse possession, and a person can try to prove ownership through adverse possession that they've used it continually for a period. I don't know the statute in New York, but there is a field of law called adverse possession, and someone can make that attempt. Of course, it would be a court action where you could contest.
Okay.
So,
what would you suggest? Well, I
would
signed over to my dad. Now, what would you suggest that he do to prevent that from happening?
Well, I think I would consult with a attorney in New York that does real estate litigation.
Yeah.
And have the real estate litigation attorney explain exactly what could happen, possibly, and take steps to prevent that from that happening if you possibly could.
Yeah.
So anybody can try anything.
Yeah.
So who paid the taxes for that 20 years?
Oh, my grandfather's been paying the taxes, and then now my dad's picking it up.
Did your grandfather give permission for this person to use the farmland for his cattle and so forth?
Yeah, he gave him permission. I don't know if it was
permission. So permission doesn't create adverse possession. Adverse means it was adversely done and not used with permission.
Yeah, he's family, so
I doubt. Yeah, I doubt that would be a problem if that was the case.
Okay.
But you can't prevent them from trying something like that.
Do you think? Okay, so then my dad didn't do anything wrong by ripping the fence out and all that?
No, not at all. If he owned the property.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Let's go to Blake in Jacksonville.
Morning, Joe.
Hey, Blake.
Listen, I'm a licensed 220 property and casualty insurance agent in Jackson, Florida. The situation that
Jacksonville?
that guy's talking about. Mm-hmm.
Well, you said Jackson, so.
Jacksonville.
Okay, you got it.
The situation the guy's talking about, if the insurance company is telling him that they're going to take care of that guy's car first, then he's going to need to, I would recommend that he call the commissioner of insurance and file a claim or file a grievance. He needs to know what his coverages are. Because the way the insurance breaks down, there's PIP, then there's liability, and then there's property damage, so in that case, if the coverage is there for him, there's no priority to that. So he needs to contact the insurance commissioner and file a grievance against that insurance company.
All right. Well, I hope he's still listening, and that's great advice, and I appreciate you calling.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you. And you would think the person who was damaged, I mean, here's a person drives a truck onto a property. The truck gets damaged. He causes property damage to the owner of the property. You would think definitely that if there was a priority, that he should be first, and the guy driving the truck would be second. You definitely think that. All right. If you have a question, phone lines are open, 877-943-9673. Phone lines are open. Let's go to Wes in Jacksonville.
How you doing today?
I'm doing great, Wes, and you?
Oh, okay. I have a situation with a boyfriend, girlfriend bought a house together. Well, now they've since split up, boyfriend, girlfriend wise. They're both still living in the house, and the boyfriend refuses to pay any of the mortgage. Does the girl have any route that she can do without wait?
So they're both named on the mortgage? Are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right. So they both signed the mortgage. They're both liable on the mortgage, and they're both on the deed.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, if she could probably sue him.
So she'd have to sue him then for.
Well, yeah. If he's not going to voluntarily pay the mortgage, then she'd have to sue him. Of course, that would probably end the relationship.
Oh, it's done. It's done and over.
But he won't move.
Right.
Would he be willing just to sign the property over to her? And could she afford it?
He's just not a good person, I guess you'd say. He's just living off of her as long as he can.
Does she need to sell the property because she can't afford to pay for it herself?
No, she's paying for it. She's just, for every nickel she puts into it, half of it's his. Is the way it is right now.
Well, I think she needs to see an attorney to put a little pressure on the fellow to just sign the deed over to her.
Okay.
And then if not, the attorney can take legal action to do a partition sale or something to make him want to do it. Make him want to give up. He's not paying, and she can prove that she paid all the payments, and he's not meeting his obligation, and need to get him out of the picture. So I think she'd probably need an attorney to get him out of the picture.
Okay. All righty.
All right. Well, good luck with that.
I'll pass it along. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. All right. Let's go to John in, I'm not sure where John's from Tampa. Oh, Ponte Vedra. All right, John.
The question I have is, my mom was in the hospital recently, and she got discharged to rehab, but the hospital would not allow us to take her to rehab. They said they had to use an ambulance. So they wrote up the paperwork, gave it to the ambulance driver, who took her over to Fleet Landing in Jacksonville, and they said that Medicare would pay for that because that's the way they wrote the discharge up. They didn't give us any paperwork, but the ambulance company said that Medicare refused to pay because there's no paperwork, and now they want us to pay for the ambulance ride, $800 and some dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And the hospital can't find the paperwork that they gave the ambulance. And the ambulance company says they're going to charge interest and put a lien on our house. So
no, well, they can't they'd have to sue you to put somebody's not giving you quite the true story. They'd have to sue you and get a judgment. And then even if they got a judgment, that would not be a lien on a homestead.
Okay.
All right. So, but what I would do, I think, is I would go have a meeting with the hospital administrator.
Okay.
Whoever you're talking to at a lower level than the hospital administrator, it just is going to be too lazy to try to come up with some paperwork that justifies what they did. So if once you get to the hospital administrator, I think it'd probably solve itself, and the hospital administrator will take action to get you the proper paperwork so it'll be covered by Medicare.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
All right, John. Thank you. What part of you live in Ponte Vedra?
Yeah, Nocatee.
Oh, you live in Nocatee.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Yeah, I drive through Nocatee every time I come through Jacksonville there, and I've got a few clients there in Nocatee, so I know that's the fifth largest fastest growing community in America.
Yeah, there's a lot of building going on.
Yeah, it's great up there. So thank you very much for calling.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. All right, you're listening to Ask an Attorney, all about Florida law. Again, I'm attorney Joe Pippen, practicing attorney. The law office is open. If you'd like to call the show, you have a toll-free number no matter where you're listening, 877-943-9673. That's 877-943-9673. Phone lines are open. I'd like to remind you, if you are in the Sun City Center area, the Chamber of Commerce there is hosting, or the WSCQ, the local community station there in Sun City Center, is having an event, and the whole radio station staff will be there, and I'm the guest speaker, I guess. Ask an Attorney. You'll meet the host of Ask an Attorney, which is me, 2 o'clock on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, a couple of days from now. It's open to the public. There'll be refreshments. It's in the Chamber of Commerce building right there in Sun City Center. Chamber of Commerce building, if you know, it's right off of the main road, 674. It's in between the Payant Financial building and the post office. There's a Chamber of Commerce building. If you need directions, you can call my office, and I'll be glad to give you the exact address and how to get there. It'll be from 2 to 3. I'm really looking forward to this. We did one last year. A lot of people showed up. It was a great, great event. Looking forward to doing another one. So if you live in Ruskin, Apollo Beach, I was in an office in Apollo Beach yesterday. Had a great couple of meetings with clients there. But if you'd like to attend, no matter where you live, Parrish, Apollo Beach, Ruskin, all that surrounding area, you're welcome to come. It's at the Sun City Center Chamber of Commerce at 2 o'clock on Tuesday. Look forward to seeing you there. Let's go to Teresa in Largo. Hey, Teresa.
Good morning.
Good morning. What can we do for you?
I have a question about a mortgage.
Okay.
Joe handled my divorce,
okay.
And I was granted the home. We walked across the street and recorded the deed in my name.
Mm-hmm.
The problem of it is the mortgage is still in his name with me as a co-signer, and the mortgage company will not even speak to me. And I've been paying the mortgage since the divorce 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
was that part of the deal that you would pay the mortgage payment?
It was. I was just granted the house and the divorce. I'm assuming I would have to refinance, but that's a problem because I was part of the bailout and my interest is at 2.9.
Mm-hmm.
If I refinance, my interest is going to be much higher. And the house is, unfortunately, with the real estate market upside down right now.
Does your ex-husband want you to refinance? Is he putting pressure on you?
He wants to buy a home for his new family. And I'm assuming that's probably going to be a problem for him because he already has a mortgage.
Does the divorce decree dictate that you refinance?
No.
Okay. All right. So what do you want to discuss with the mortgage company?
I want to discuss how I can get this transferred to my name without actually refinancing. I mean, I've been on the mortgage the entire time as a co-signer.
Yeah. Well, my guess is they're not going to release you from the mortgage or release him from the mortgage and let you refinance.
Right.
Because they don't have to. I mean,
right.
That's pretty simple answer. They don't have to, so why should they?
So what do I do? I mean, he's going to buy a home and start pressuring me to either refinance or sell this house.
Well, I'm not sure he would have. See, sometimes that's dictated in the divorce decree. That you have so much. Yeah, that you have so much time to refinance.
Nope. Just says I defaulted him. He never showed up for court.
I see.
So I basically got everything.
Well, you could go through the motions of trying to refinance and doing the paperwork. It'll probably be declined, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So as long as you make the effort, he's going to have a hard time taking some type of action.
Okay.
How much do you owe on the mortgage?
Like $240,000, and the house is right now valued at about $179 with the market. I'm kind of stuck in a really bad position. It's a beautiful home in Largo. It's 3-bedroom brick ranch with a fireplace, a pool. Right now, the market is so bad, I couldn't sell it for what I owe on it. But then again, with the bailout, my mortgage is $1,098 a month. Where am I going to go for that?
Yeah. He would be, if he forces action, I'm just trying to think through this whole thing. If he would try to force an action to sell it, and they're going to sell it for less than it's worth, then there could be a judgment, against both of you. So it would probably kind of be unwise for him to force a sale, because the end result would be a judgment against him, which is going to hurt his credit. It'd be a judgment against both of you, actually. But that would hurt his credit. So I don't know why if he thought it out or had an attorney represent him, the attorney's going to point that out, and that would probably prevent him from taking any action to force the sale.
Okay.
So I would think you both are I think you both are in a bad spot. Yeah, if you could get refinanced, that would be perfect, but they don't have to. The mortgage company might not think you wouldn't want to do it because it'd be detrimental to you. But the other question is, would you qualify?
I probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I make about $40,000 a year.
Yeah. So from what I heard, I didn't think that was possible. You might not. So it would be detrimental to everybody to even try, and it would probably fail anyway.
Okay.
So you're both just stuck in a bad spot without any really good option.
Exactly. The only thing is the mortgage payment has been coming automatically out of my checking account for the last 10 years since the divorce. So that's the only thing I was thinking in my favor with the mortgage company is they've seen it's come out of my account and my name only. It's been on time.
Okay, well,
they won't talk to me. They will not even talk.
All right. Well, one chance would be if you and your ex are still wanting to work together on this to try to make this happen, he could give you a power of attorney to deal with. It could be a very limited power of attorney just to deal with the mortgage company.
Okay.
And then once you show them the power of attorney, you'd have the power to deal with it.
Okay. All right. I'm sure he would do that. I mean, he's not being ignorant. It's just, he's moved on. Great. He's got 2 sons and he wants to buy a home for his family, and I understand that. Well,
tell him you'd like to refinance if you can, but the attorney told you that you would need a power of attorney to deal with the mortgage company because they won't talk to you otherwise.
Okay. Everybody just thinks I'm crazy when they say the mortgage company won't talk to me, but they truly won't.
Well, they will with the power of attorney.
Okay. All right, I will get that, and I'll take care of that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, if you'd like to call the show, you have a toll-free number, 877-943-9673. That's 877-943-9673. Phone lines are open. Let's go to Linda in St. Petersburg.
Hello.
Hey, Linda.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. And you?
Medium.
Medium. All right. Well, it'll get better.
All right. Well,
it'll get better right after you talk to me. How's that?
I would be very grateful for that.
All right.
To tell you the truth. Things are not good in my life. I'm an older person. I'm 74. Let's start with that. My question has to do with landlord-tenant.
Mm-hmm.
And the horrible things that happen to people involved in disputes.
Okay.
I help me. I don't know. Legally,
All right, what's the worst thing they've done to you?
oh, it's not actually being done to. Well, yes, I could tell you about dead rats. I could tell you about a persistent feeling of, and I mean persistent feeling of surveillance. That's one question. Is it legal if you are a landlord and a property manager and I would call a mogul of sorts? Is it legal to, in some way, surveil the people that rent from you? My landlord lives upstairs. I live downstairs. I've had a persistent feeling. I'm not crazy. Please don't think that. Please don't. That, along with repairs that have never been done forever, that somehow they...
Well, ma'am, I think they have the right to have video on the outside of your condo.
Oh, sure. No, it's not a condo. It's a duplex.
Or duplex, okay. I think they have the power to have video on the outside, front door, walkways, parking areas, but not inside your duplex.
No, I mean surveillance inside.
No, they don't have the power, the right to have cameras inside your duplex. If you could find one, that would be...
I wouldn't even know what to look for. I'm one of those people. I don't.
You'd have to hire somebody to probably come in and do a little search if you're that worried about it.
Well, I want to be out of here, but how do you do that, by the way? How do you find those people?
You could go, do you have any family members online that can do searches for you?
I do not, but I have friends.
Yeah. They can Google search video invasion techniques or something like that and find people that can handle that.
It's just, it's just, I mean, that can't be right. I mean,
no. Well, if you could prove it, it wouldn't be right. So I need for you to ask me another question though, because I have other people waiting. So, do you have another question for me?
No. If you want to get rid of me, I'll get off.
No, I'm not trying to get rid of you. I can't spend a whole lot of time on each call. So, if you have a direct question, I'll be trying to give you a direct answer. So your landlord does not have right to have a video inside your condo. There are people who can, a private detective, for example. You could Google private detectives for that will search something like that to see if you want to do a search of your apartment.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you. All right. Let's go to Kim and Brandon.
Hi. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning.
Hello. Well, my question for you is I have a friend who's a lady who wants to write up a trust, and she has a property with one of her children where their names are both on the property. And she wants to put in the trust that when, let's say if she dies before her daughter that has her name on the property, she would like her part of the property to go, be split among their other children as well. And she's wondering if there's any way that she can do that.
Okay, well, it depends on how the property is owned currently. So, for example, is it mother and daughter with any magic words behind the two names, like with right of survivorship?
I don't believe it does have that. I think it's just the and.
So it's just two names, period, which means it's tenants in common.
Yes.
So that means the mother could do a trust and put her half of the property into the trust and give that property to the other children if she wanted to.
Okay, so she could definitely pass that down to her children, the half that is due to her.
Yeah, but you got to, I would have a discussion with her about whether that would really work or not, because basically that would force the sale of the property probably. Because having multiple owners of properties where one person probably wants to live there.
Right.
And the others don't want to live there. So any one of the others could do a partition sale to force the sale of the property so everybody walks away with cash.
Right. And I think that's what she would prefer, that at least everybody gets something.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if she and the daughter that lives there that owns half could, possibly buy out the other 3.
Right.
Does she have other money in her estate? I mean, she has a piece of real estate, and does she have CDs, money markets, brokerage accounts that everybody will also be able to receive some of that?
No.
Okay, so basically, if she wants to do that, she can. I think that would probably just force the sale of the property, though. If that's what she wants, that can easily be done.
Okay, so that can be done within the trust.
Yes.
Okay, and when the property is written and such that it's tenants in common, if the daughter isn't really living there, does that affect the equation at all?
No.
Okay, so it's not really an issue as far as the state of Florida.
No, it would be tenants in common. She can do whatever she wants to with her half.
Okay. All right. And so even currently, if the other tenant is not technically living there, that's not an issue?
No, not an issue at all.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your service
All right,
to share with people about this. Have a great day.
All right, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, you're listening to Ask an Attorney all about Florida law. If I can help you in our remaining 14 minutes or so, give us a call. You have a toll-free number, 877-943-9673. By the way, we're streaming live on WeBeamTV.com. WeBeamTV.com, and WeBeam.com also has a video of a bunch of my previous shows. It's a video TV company, basically, and they do live shows. They do, but they have a host, a podcast, so to speak, of numerous other video shows of mine. So if you'd like to go on there, that would be great. You can actually every Saturday morning that I'm in Tampa, which is every other week, you can watch the radio show on WeBeamTV.com, and you can also go to their. So they have a bunch of other shows on the network as well, and plus they podcast them for future use. All right, let's go to Jeff calling from Jacksonville.
I have a problem quite similar to the last one. When my mom died, she left all of her property to me. Well, I thought in my wisdom there was so much property inside the house.
Oh, personal property.
Yeah, a lot of personal property, and I said I'd be willing to divide that 3 ways. I said, I'll take this property and divide it 3 ways. Well, he had a power of attorney. He took me and my sister. He actually came down, picked my sister up, brought her up to Atlanta from Jacksonville, took us to an attorney, and got us to sign the paperwork for him to have the power of attorney to sell the house. Then he and his sister took me back to my house. It was still my house, I believe. And then they came back about a week or 2 later and drove me down to Florida and left all my property there, except for some clothing. They let me get some clothing. So I've been here for, a couple of years now, and I don't like it. I don't like the neighborhood. I don't like the house very much. It's a very old house. I was not in a new house by any means, but I was on a much bigger lot with much nicer neighbors, much nicer, right by the Chattahoochee River. So I could drive to the Chattahoochee in about 3 or 4 minutes, and there are dozens of places along the Chattahoochee. Even if you don't want to raft down it or use a boat, you can. There's so many trails around there. I miss the place like the dickens. So the question is there anything? My brother gave me like $8,000 for my property. He sold the house. This is the biggest problem. With his power of attorney, he sold the house for $188,000, and it's like a 4-bedroom with a huge finished basement that has beds down there too. So it had 1, 2, 3, 4 bedrooms, room for 2 double beds, two twin beds, and 1 single bed, or 1 large single bed.
Mm-hmm.
So it had 3 bedrooms upstairs, full bathroom upstairs, half bathroom downstairs, huge living room, big dining room. When I say huge, I mean 35 feet by 20, 25 feet. It's a big house. Over 2,000 square feet, I think. But,
okay, so your parent died.
Yeah, so he got us to sign the power of attorney by driving me down. He coerced me into signing the power of attorney, I think. My sister was actually mentally incapacitated at the time. I could go into that in further detail.
Yeah, so I'm not going to have...
She's been in the mental health resource unit here since I got here. And she was before I got here. One of the reasons I came down here, she was thinking about killing herself with a gun. And I thought, no, I can't let that happen. I was willing to come down and visit because I wanted to make sure she'd be okay, but I didn't expect he'd go sell the property. They came down.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to talk to you off the air because this is a very long story, and so if you want to call me during the week, I mean, if you gave your part, let me just summarize from what I've heard so far. If you gave your brother a power of attorney, the power of attorney did not allow him, I'm sure, I would think after...
Yeah, as executor, I'm trying to understand how as executor he can do what he did. Because he's got to be fair.
Okay, well, there's two things there. There's the personal representative, the executor, and power of attorney. So if you gave him a power of attorney to do certain things, he could not benefit himself by using that power of attorney. Was he the executor of the estate, or were you?
Yes, he was the executor.
Okay.
And that's the reason there was a problem, because he had a vested interest in seeing that he got pieces of the... He used to live in it with his girlfriend before they got married.
Okay.
I was paying the
So somebody's going to have to
sit... The whole time they were living there, too, by the way.
Somebody's going to have to sit down with you probably for half an hour to go through all this and try to sort it out to give you an answer.
Do you think it might be worth pursuing? He's in his 80s now.
Well, how long ago did all this happen?
Oh, about 2.5 or 3 years ago. It's probably too late now.
Well, did you sign papers to close out the estate?
Yes.
Yeah, so you accepted what you got, and you signed papers. So it's.
But was it legal for him to execute the will and benefit that way? The whole process is fraudulent.
Yeah. I'd have to sit down with you, or you're going to have to get a probate attorney or somebody to sit down with you and go through the whole file. I don't think I can just answer that on a short radio question.
Yeah, okay, no, but it's a tough question. This just brings up another issue, and that is, you might think your family members are your friends.
Well, Mark Twain said...
If you've got in-laws, forget it.
Yeah, Mark Twain said you never know a person till you share an inheritance with them.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
All right, Jeff, no problem.
It makes a big difference to have someone listen.
All right, thank you so much.
You do us good service that way.
Thank you. All right. All right, let's go to Lois in Polk County.
Yes, good morning.
Hey, Lois.
I bought a foreclosure house. Been living in it 8 years. There's a second lot with it that has a garage on it. I've been paying the taxes, everything on the foreclosure. However, the second lot for the bank that foreclosed, they didn't put it in this case, the foreclosure case. They put the house only and not the second lot. But they had done that in previous foreclosures. The fella that owned it would bring it current, let it go back again, but finally foreclosed. And all them previous foreclosures had the 2 lots in it, but the last one didn't, and I bought it. So how can I unravel that?
How can you unravel? You want to buy the second lot? Is that?
Well, I went to the previous owner and asked him to do a quit claim. He claims both properties were married. That's what he called it, married, and meshed the one parcel. And they aren't.
So you thought they were included in your purchase, but they weren't.
Well, the original foreclosure case and 2 consecutive ones, they were. But then I kept watching it and bought it, and the third one didn't have the second lot in there, or the garage. So the individual doesn't want to do a quit claim. He said he's out of it. They foreclosed on him, and he can't. He feels he can't.
Yeah.
So no quit claim, and he says it's not necessary. They were both in the foreclosure.
Oh, man, I think somebody's going to have to look at the whole transaction, review the papers. I don't think I can guess what the answer would be without looking at papers. So.
All right.
All right. So if you have an attorney to do that, fine. If not, I could probably refer one to you. If
Do you
just
take the case yourself or no?
Well, I have somebody in my office that might, but you just have to contact our office during the week.
Will do. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And right after this next call, I'll give all the office information to you. Let's go to Brian in St. Petersburg.
Yeah, hi. My wife rented a car, and she brought it back, and there was damage to the car. She had no knowledge of that damage being perpetrated when she had the car, when she was renting the car. And it could be that somebody damaged it when she had the car, and she didn't know about it, but she didn't have an accident. And the car company wants $350, but yet they didn't do any checklist before she left the lot. And I didn't know if they were obligated to do that before they would charge someone in that situation damages.
Well, I think I would just bounce the ball back. I would send them a letter that, the car was not damaged while it was in her possession. And you have no knowledge of how it might have been damaged and believe it possibly was damaged before she rented it. And ask them if they have any evidence of a sheet where they went around and checked the car for damage before they leased it?
They do not.
Okay. Well, I would just deny payment. I would say, look, we don't believe that the car was damaged while it was in her possession. And if you could provide us some proof of the condition of the car before she rented it, I would be glad to look at that. But otherwise, we don't feel responsible and just send a certified letter.
Well, what they've done, though, is they've leveraged her in such a way that they put her on a blacklist so that Enterprise and whoever else, there are other Alamo, Enterprise, there's several other companies that are all under one roof that will not rent a car to her. So she's being punished for something that they have no proof of.
Well, you'd have to have an attorney deal with that then.
Yeah, and then the $350, by the time you get your attorney, you probably spent more money than that if it was a process.
Yep, that's a bad spot you're in, but that's probably true.
Okay. And I can't take them to small claims court.
You can, but anybody can take anybody to small claims court. I don't know what you would be after, though.
A judgment to say that they need to release the lien on her renting a car.
I think that would be probably kind of difficult to do. It's a lot more complicated than asking for a monetary damage, and I'm not sure you'd probably need an attorney to do that for you. You could try to do it yourself, of course. Or just have an attorney look at it and write a letter demanding that it come off, and they'll take action, and maybe there could be a way that they could pay if you win. I don't know. I think I would discuss it with an attorney that's not going to charge you anything for the first consult on that first.
Okay.
All right?
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you. You're listening to Ask an Attorney all about Florida law. If you'd like to contact our office in any way, we don't charge for a free consult on estate planning cases. In some other cases, we don't charge for the first visit, but definitely not for any estate planning reviews of documents or discussions about what your options are in estate planning. So if you'd like to contact our office or even get the free estate planning poster sheet that we make available, a lot of information on that sheet to help you make decisions on estate planning, you can call our toll-free office number either for an appointment or the free poster sheet, 1-800-226-3529. That's 1-800-226-3529. You can email me at Joe, at ATTYPIP.com, or you can text me at 727-667-3967. If you would like to attend the open meeting at the Chamber of Commerce in Sun City Center at 2 o'clock on Tuesday, I would love for you to come. It's open to the public. There's no charge. Ask an Attorney. I'll be giving a short presentation and answering your legal questions in an open forum. 2 o'clock, Sun City Chamber of Commerce, Sun City Center. You have a great, great weekend. And so long.